getting ready to take the Christmas tree down eventually. And wait a second, what is this? There's still a present under the tree? Oh my, I'm gonna have to unbox this. Hello all, today we're going to have a very late Christmas unwrapping of Final Girl. Yes, I did not get this for Christmas, so it was not left under my Christmas tree by mistake. Although my Christmas tree is still up, and I got to get that down at some point. But I was able to pick this up. I kept looking at this online and seeing the advertisements for it. And this is an expansion to Final Girl. This is a Christmas edition because you have Mrs. Claus there on the front, and it looks like you're going up against Krampus, the horned devil. Look at the back here. You're going to see the typical setup of Final Girl episode pack of you're going to have a location that you're going to play on. This is Santa's Village, and you're going to have the killer's chart or board. And in this case, it is Krampus, and then you're going to have some Final Girls, one of which is Mrs. Claus, and plus all the other goodies you get in here. Now, this is a beefed up edition. This isn't your typical, episode or expansion in that you're going to get some minis in here. Normally, you have to buy the minis separate and buy them in a pack, but this has 4 miniatures in here. But you get all the other stuff you need for the game, except you're going to need to add a Final Girl core box, which, I covered a lot of Final Girl, and I'll put a link to that in this video because I went a little crazy at Halloween with Final Girl stuff, did a massive unboxing and unwrapping and whatever you want to call it of Final Girl episodes and boxes and miniatures and oh my. So I did all that at Halloween's, but I'll put a link to all the Final Girl stuff I've done to date. Plus I have a link, I have a playlist for Final Girl if you want to keep up with that as well. But this is a Christmas edition of it, and so I'm covering this a little late, but better late than never, right? So let's get inside this and see what we have inside this box here for you all to play with. As I said, this came out, I want to say, I don't know if it came out in October. Maybe it came, I just saw it in my friendly local gaming store really just yesterday. It's the first time I saw it. That doesn't mean that that's how it just came out yesterday, but I know it's been available like online to buy for at least throughout November, if not December and November and possibly even October. I'm not sure about that, but here's the little just cover sheet that goes with that. There is Santa's Village. There is Krampus or the Mrs. Claus. And if you're familiar with Final Girl, or if you're not familiar with it, they have a magnetic lock here, so that just comes off. And so there is Krampus. And this is the player board if you're playing against him. Final Girl is a solo game, so you'll be playing against Krampus by yourself with one of the Final Girls. And one of the nice things about Final Girl is it's all interchangeable. So you can, Krampus doesn't have to terrorize Santa's Village. He could terrorize any of the other locations, or you can use any of the other locations, or you can use any of the locations and any of the other, killers or bad guys that you go up against as well. So completely interchangeable, and the Final Girls are interchangeable as well. So there you have it. So that is Krampus board, and then we'll have, this is the stuff for Krampus, the components for the Krampus side of things, any special setup, special rules, and the opening presents. So there's a special rule here on opening presents. And so you're going to get on this side of the board, there is the Mrs. Claus Eyes Only. So this is something that after you play Mrs. Claus, if you want to, you know, add a little bit more spice to the mix and add some more special powers or abilities or items for her. Sometimes these come up in these little mystery packs here if you want that to go along. Here we have the minis here. So we've got, we got Krampus. That's kind of cool. They got a little felt insert there, or cushioning. So there's Krampus. So you get a mini with this. And this costs a little bit more than the typical, you know, buying these single episode type situations. So that is Mrs. Claus, I believe. The rolling pin, so making cookies. We got some cards in here. We have some tokens. And good thickness, you know, some tokens in there. Double-sided. And we got the cards here. So these are the terror cards for Krampus. And again, Final Girl is a solo system, and part of the AI is these terror cards that are going to increase, and you know, they're kind of set as a timer or a clock for the system, but they also add, you know, tension and intensity to the game, because this is basically how Krampus is going to be moving around the board and messing you up. And we got some special terror here: demonic will and North Pole magic and anti-Christmas spirit. Cool. Got the presents. This is that special rule there. Got green and red backed presents. So this is a special rule for the for Krampus, I guess. So that's something unique there. So I don't know if you can, if that ties to the village, Santa's village, or to Krampus. Normally when stuff's on this side of the packing, and I'll flip it over, it ties to the one side, not the other. Here's Mrs. Claus. So this is a situation where once you rescue so many other people on the board, you know, here you have to do 4, here you have to do 4. You get that special ability, so she actually moves up in life. She gets more life. And this one gets like some extra move stuff. I guess this is Cindy the Elf, I'm assuming here. And then once you collect the 4, rescue the 4, then both these have 4. Sometimes they have other numbers or amounts that you have to rescue. But once you do that, then you get to flip this over and you get that special ability. So that's Mrs. Claus' special ability, and then that is Cindy's special ability there. And then we have, these are some of Krampus's, yeah, these are his special powers that go with this. So you have a top and a bottom there that go along with him. These are like the dark powers, I think is what they're called. So you got a lot of replayability, because you can mix and match these, and so you have a you know, 4 different bottoms and 4 different tops that will do different setups, and Krampus will play differently in those games. Ooh, that looks like that's an epic dark power, never-ending gifts. So you might want to wait to go on play a few games of this before you go up to advance to that level. And this is an epic finale. So if you look at this board here, you know, this terror track's going to go up as he kills off victims. And once he gets to this level, not only does he increase his damage, increase his movement, but then he gets a dark power. So you'll flip over one of those dark powers on this board right here. And so let's say we're playing this case, he'll have explosive gifts. And then once you get to the end here, they'll get, once you get to, I think it's to the end, or get to a number of cards. It's been a while since I played it. You'll flip this over, and that's his normal ability of what he gets, but then he'll get this epic final. If you want to play with the epic, you can play with some of these other ones as well. So it really just ramps up the intensity of the game and makes it a lot harder, because you want, in a solo game, you want it to be hard, right? You don't want it to be, you know, a piece of cake, because who wants to play an easy solo game? So there you have it. That is on the Krampus side. Put that in there. And then we will look at the, I tend to put these in the bottom there. And let's look at the flip this over, which those are going to fall out now. But this is magnetic here. As you can see here, here's Santa's Village, and you got the stables and Santa's house and the runway and Santa's workshop. And then these green areas is where you need to get the victims to rescue them. You need to kind of, pick up people. It's kind of somewhat of a pick up and delivery. You're going to pick up the victims and take them over to these green areas to get them out of Krampus's zone of destruction. And this is how you move around the board. So kind of a cool little village there. And so let's see what we have on this side. This is going to be stuff that is unique to Santa's Village. So you got your event cards, and that's going to be something that happens every turn that kind of shows what are the different events that are going on in Santa's Village. A lot of times they're bad. Sometimes you might get something good. Setup cards, there's different unique setups of where Krampus is going to be at, where the victims are going to be at, where you start, and so that's different. It's got its own tarot cards, so when you play with Santa's Village, you'll mix those tarot cards in with the killers, or in this case, Krampus's tarot cards, to create your tarot deck. Then you get some unique items. So there's locations on this board where you're going to be able to pick up items. So those places are the stables, Santa's workshop, and Santa's house. You go to that location, you can use one of your actions to pick up an item. And so those are the unique items that are in there. And then you get one miniature in here. You get some tokens and you get a miniature. It looks like a reindeer of some sort. And then the special rule is Santa's elves. So there we go. So let's look at what's on this side of the board here. So we're going to get the other final girl. I think this is Cindy the elf, which is right there. So you get a mini here. And again, that's something normally you have to buy a whole miniature pack for the entire set, or like season 1 or season 2, or I think it's season 1 or season 2, or set 1 or set 2. And then, but this one, the minis come with it. But again, this pack costs a little bit more. And then there's a reindeer there. Kind of cool. Then we get some cards in here. Well, let's look at what other stuff here. So we got 2 different types of cards here. Here's the counters we get that go with Santa's Village. Then we get some of these. These are those smaller cards. So there's different setups. So you'll just draw one of these and then set up the game accordingly. It tells you where you start, where Krampus starts, where the victim starts. And so it's different setups. So that adds a little bit of, variability and playability to the game. You got some unique items in here. So there's Comet. So I guess that's Comet the reindeer there. Milk and cookies, BB gun. You'll shoot your eye out. Red wagon. All kinds of good stuff there. Ooh, Misfit toys. Anyway, so I think there's a token for that one. So those are the items you get, and then these are the events that happens. And again, my experience is most of these are bad, but some of these can be good or somewhat helpful. But most of the time, it's kind of throwing you off your normal course of events. So there's those things, and then you get these are the setup cards that get thrown into the deck. Whenever you're playing Santa's Village, you'll mix this with whatever killer you're using. In this case, again, Krampus, if you want to play this set here. And there you have it. So you pretty much have most of what you need to play the game, except for, the victim tokens, the terror board. I mean, some of the core stuff that you'll only, that's why you need the core set. I'll see it's all falling out now. So I'll put Santa's Village there. Flip this over and put it like that. There we go. And then and this goes back in here. But, so if you have one of these off, oh, I forgot to put this back in. So this is the special character pack for Cindy. So for Cindy's eyes only. So once you can start off with these, but normally you play Cindy at least once. And then if you want to spice it up, then you open this up and see what kind of stuff Cindy can play with. Some extra, it could be items, it could be other kind of stuff that comes in here. So there you have it. That is Krampus and Santa's Village. And as you can see here, this goes back like this. And I have everything in all my season 1 and all my season 2 stuff in a box, in the big box, the big epic box. Whereas this, I don't have this on right, so I got to put it like this. See, oh, for some reason the magnetic is not, it's not taken for there. I'll have to figure that out. I'll figure it out. Because normally this is supposed to be magnetic on this side as well. But I think I've got it. I think I've got it totally reversed here. Anyway, there you have it. That is Final Girl from Ryder Games. Final Girl, the Krampus, and Santa's Village. So if you're a Final Girl fan, then this is more content, more stuff to add in, mix and, play this as a set itself or mix and match with your other stuff. If you don't like Final Girl or not a fan of it, then this isn't probably going to win you over because this is just more themed. It's, a holiday theme. You got Santa's Village and Mrs. Claus and Krampus, so it's got a little bit more of a different theme. You've got presents and some special rules. So I don't think this would necessarily win you over to Final Girl based on the theme alone. But, if you haven't tried out Final Girl and you do like, you want a little bit more of a Christmas theme, well, this is your place to stop. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Take care. Thanks for watching.